Folks, what a game we have on our hands today. These two have faced off in a lot of places. Take a look at the Revolutionary War, take a look at the War of 1812. For the third time in their history, they will face off in the world spectacle, England against the United States, to wrap up Matchday 2 and to wrap up Black Friday right here at the World Cup. Hello, everyone. I'm Mahir Hassan. Back in the echo chamber today as Cronkite is unfortunately closed. Glad that you could join me, though, on this Friday afternoon. And boy, like I said, what a matchup we have on our hands. A crucial one in terms of Group B. Earlier today, Wales and Iran played. Iran ended up winning 2-0 over Wales, meaning the United States has more focus when it comes to their big games, especially against Iran, in which they would need 3 points, barring they don't get 3 points today. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, starting off with the United States. Only one change from their game against Wales on Mondays. You still once again have Matt Turner in goal, Anthony Robinson, Tim Ream, Walker Zimmerman, and Serginho Dest across the back. In the midfield, Yunus Musa, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, and in the front, Christian Pulisic, Hadri Wright will be starting in the number 9 spot in his 5th cap overall. That is your only change from the game on Monday, and Tim Weah is on the right. We are underway from Al Bayt Stadium in Al Khor, Qatar. England goes from left to right. They'll be in the all white. United States in the all blue, going from right to left. Let's take a look now at the host today, at least on paper. Crowd's going to be about 50-50 today in terms of the English and the Americans. In goal, you're going to have Jordan Pickford. And then in the back, across from left to right, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, John Stones, and Kieran Trippier. In the midfield, your two holding mids, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham. In the front, for your attacking midfield, you're going to have Raheem Sterling, Mason Mount, and Bukayo Saka. Up top, Harry Kane. Not a change for England from their match on Monday, in which they beat Iran 6-2. This one cleared out by Turner, as we see a throw in here for England. Just a minute in to this one. Boy, oh boy, is this a big game for both sides. England, with a win, will advance to the knockout for the second consecutive year. Of course, made it last year as the 2 seed, as they picked up wins in both of their first 2 games, I believe against Panama and Tunisia, losing to Belgium, so they had to settle for the 2nd seed, as this one was played through by McKennie. Can't find Hadji Wright, who will be your man up top today. That one cleared away by Pickford. Back to the midfield. Once again, both teams decided to play moonball. This one headed away there by Ream. Settles on the ground. Back to the United States it goes. And for Destin McKennie, loses the ball there. McKennie went down on the end line, and it will be a free kick for the United States, about 50 yards out from goal. Here's a look at Gareth Southgate, the manager for England. Spent a lot of time at the national level. I believe 57 appearances along with 2 goals, playing as a defender and midfielder for the 3 Lions during his time. Of course, on the other side, Greg Berhalter, who also played a lot of minutes and caps with the United States men's national team. There he is on the screen. 44 caps, 0 goals as an ideal center back. Of course, those two have a good friendship. Of course, a lot of them kind of praising each other in the media a lot, but Greg was saying that he's tried contacting Southgate via WhatsApp this week and basically said the blue check mark isn't there. He is not responding, and he hopes the relationship can continue after the match today, hopefully tomorrow, to kind of break things down. England against the United States. As I said, 3rd time these two are meeting up at the World Cup. Their first meeting was back in 1950 in Brazil, in which the United States won 1-0 courtesy of a Joe Gaetjens goal. And then in 2010, they met up in the opening match of the 2010 for both of those sides. That is, Steven Gerrard got the scoring started in the 4th minute before Clint Dempsey had a 25-yard goal, went through the hands of the English goalkeeper and into the back of the net. That caused the game to end up 1-1. Of course, there's a famous New York Post magazine the next day that basically said, USA wins 1-1. It's the greatest tie for the United States against England since Bunker Hill. I don't know if we're getting a Bunker Hill today, but either way, got 3 minutes through. United States and England. No shots on goal yet for both sides. The United States still remaining compact. Here it is for Tim Ream. Plays it out to Christian Pulisic. Still playing left wing. Has played to center mid a lot during his time at Chelsea, especially during these past few games for the United States. Here's Ream once again back out to Anthony Robinson on the left hand side, going up against Trippier. Trippier got a touch to it, and it will be off of Robinson last. Throw in for England deep in the defensive third for them. So as I mentioned, Kieran Trippier, one of the many guys with a lot of experience for this English side, of course, had a free kick goal in their game against Croatia in the semifinal back in 2018. Before kind of bottling the lead, Croatia ended up winning that game 2-1 before losing to France 4-2 in the final. Once again, back out to England's Luke Shaw, going back out to the goalkeeper in Jordan Pickford. So as I said, England with the win today is back at the knockouts. With a draw, they would mostly qualify, save that they don't lose to Wales and Iran ends up doing their business against the United States, or in a sense, the United States ends up giving them the win, and then it becomes an ideal off of goal differential. Foul on the end line, and once again, possession going back to the three Lions, who come out firing on all cylinders. And I think when you look at the United States on the other side, there was an interesting talk with Greg Berhalter, especially with Gio Reyna being on the bench, not bringing him in during the Wales game. Instead, Jordan Morris got some minutes later on, and that was a big raise of concern. And Berhalter was very indirect when talking to the media about it. And some people thought, you know what, maybe this is the day, especially with the result from early on with Iran and Wales. And since U.S., regardless of a loss or a draw, will have to beat Iran, most likely will have to beat Iran either way, I should say, to go to the next round. So here's Stones in the back. England contempt to play back as we are past 5 minutes here in this first half. As Maguire plays it out to Shaw, couldn't keep it in play, and it's now a throw-in for the United States. Once again, kind of passing in between here. Of course, a lot of kind of action going to this game, especially on the United States side. So Alexi Lalas, I was a few minutes before I went on, I was listening to Alexi Lalas on the Fox Sports pregame coverage, and he was basically saying, you know what, the United States is good at a lot of stuff. You know, U.S. men's team is not at that stage, but this is a game where we can show we are the best. Musa tries to play outside. Nonetheless, Robinson will track back to collect here. Goes back to Adams. Tyler Adams still wearing the captain's armband as he did on Monday. Throw-in now for England. Let's see Kieran Trippier again. Trippier looks for options, decides to get it off for Harry Kane. And goes right back to base. Giving chase there was Mason Mount. Mount will be playing your center mid position. Harry Kane will be up top. As I noted, just looking at this roster, certainly stacked with players from definitely big teams. So even I would probably say the least would be Jordan Pickford, who plays for Everton, kind of in the middle of the table in the Premier League right now. Here's Musa on the ball, the former English youth international, gets it out to Robinson. Back to Adams, circles it back to Walker Zimmerman. One of the changes some people were contemplating was whether or not Walker Zimmerman would be playing today. So Robinson goes down the end line, just goes out, and it'll be a throw-in for England. Lots of back and forth action here. Once again, England with the ball. And when people were talking about this game, many of them were saying, you know what, this may be the game where the United States kind of lays back and then goes in the counterattack. Not what they did against Wales, where they held majority of the possession, about maybe 2/3 of it in that first half before Wales started to get some momentum and possession their way in the second half. Caused the game to end up knotted at 1-1, courtesy of a Gareth Bale penalty kick. Maguire, back out to Shaw. Fullbacks for England playing high up the pitch compared to where their center backs are. This one, once again, it's Rice Going back out to Trippier on the right. Trippier sends a long ball forward looking for Saka, headed off of Robinson, and it will be a throw in for England now, deep in the attacking third. Once again, Trippier to take it, and Bellingham, who is listed as an 8 on the roster sheets, definitely going up the pitch to get these balls, had his first ever goal for the Three Lions the last time they were out on the pitch against Iran. Ended up winning that game 6-2. Collision there in the middle between Bellingham and Wright. Wright able to get up in the meantime, so it should be okay for him as he runs back towards the play. Right now, it looks like Tim Weah has been playing that number 9 spot. Now Wright is back in the action. This one played through. Now this could be dangerous as Bellingham, now at the edge of the box, plays it out to Saka. Saka squares at the shot, and it goes wide. Harry Kane with the chance there for England. It was deflected away. Good work by the United States as it goes out for an England corner. Nervy moments here. That was a good ball played in. And it was Walker Zimmerman there who got in trouble last time as he allowed the penalty kick for Wales, this time with a good stop. Otherwise, Turner might have been baffled there. Might have been goal number 1 of the day. Corner kick now for England on the other side. Here's Trippier again. He's been kind of the specialist so far, something you've seen a lot in England and especially with this English national team. Trippier sends this one into the box, headed down by Stones. Nonetheless, Maguire gives chase. So does Weah, and it will be Maguire to win that battle out on the end line, heading back inside. Maguire still dribbling on the ball, and it's cut away by Dest at the last moment. Long shot there to try to redirect it back. Goes well out and into the United States bleachers. Goal kick for the red, white, and blue. Let's look at this. How about this? Harry Maguire, a guy who not known for his footwork, especially with his time with Manchester United, dribbling his way through. And the shot there might have been, I forget who it might have been taken off of, but either way, definitely had some pace and power on that one. Once again, here's Matt Turner to take the goal kick. Ream and Zimmerman are in the box, so it might be taken short here. England still playing a high line with Saka and Kane. Nonetheless, Turner belts this one deep all the way back to England territory, trying to get it to Weah. Won the header, but gave it right back to Trippier and England. Trippier plays it back to Pickford at the base. Jordan Pickford with a lot of moments, 46 appearances, of course, 0 goals. As the Everton man has kind of been a staple for the team, especially over the past few years. Was tested, especially last year when he he was kind of the CEO of the team as a goalkeeper for England in the Euro 2020. Of course, England ended up losing in the final to Italy on penalty kicks. It's Maguire back to his fellow center back Stones, of course. Manchester pretty well on display, especially in the back line. Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire playing for Manchester United, John Stones for Manchester City. Of course, those two have been perennial powerhouses. Of course, Man United always a classic. Manchester City has kind of become a popular squad, especially over the past 10 years and the championships they have won. Once again, Maguire gets it out to Stones. Stones, once again, still in his territory, surveys his options. Once again, gets it out to Trippier. The back line has gotten a lot of touches today for England as Rice plays it back to Maguire. Here's Shaw out on the right for Sterling. Raheem Sterling with a good move there on Dest as he cuts inside. Kane looks for options, tries to play it out to Saka, cut away there, and cleared by Robinson. Good work there by the United States. Bend, but don't break. That might be the mentality they need today. Here's Musa. Try to play it back, and it's one back there by Bellingham. Robinson goes to ground. No foul called. Nonetheless, good work there by Adams to get it out to Musa. The United States still struggling to get some passes going. No shots yet for them. No shots on goal for either side. Once again, out to Mount. Sterling. Now to Bellingham, center of the pitch. Trippier. And back to Bellingham. England starting their line about 35 yards out as they go back to the center back in John Stones. Now to Shaw. Once again, Declan Rice, defensive mid, one of the most experienced guys in West Ham history, gets it right out to Bellingham. Bellingham chips it out to Trippier. Trippier plays through for Saka on the clear. He squares it into the box. Trying to get a kickoff was Kane. Nonetheless, it's cut out and cleared there by Adams. England trying to play maybe some Joga Bonito here on this Friday afternoon, at least here in Phoenix. Friday night out in Al Khor, Qatar. About a little past 10 o'clock there for them. Goes back to Stones here in the middle. Now to Trippier, once again playing through for Bukayo Saka. Fresh off a brace, which he scored against Iran. He had a lot of goals, including ones in the center of the pitch. Had a volley from about 20 yards out, fresh off a corner kick to redirect it back towards the goal. An absolute golazo. One of the best goals I've seen, at least at this tournament. And although I'd probably say best goal is Richarlison's bike/scissor kick yesterday. Boy, was that a beauty against Serbia. I would love to be on the call for that. Here's Robinson now cutting back on Saka. Wing play is going to be interesting for both sides. Anthony Robinson playing for Fulham, Kieran Trippier for Newcastle. Kind of a test against good and bad. Fulham was still a decent side, but not as good as Newcastle, currently third in the Premier League. And then on the other side, you got Serginho Dest, the Barcelona right back, going up against Luke Shaw of Manchester United. We could see those two playing off in Europa sometime soon. Here's Robinson again. About 15 minutes through here at Al Bayt Stadium. No score so far. As it stands, if this was going to stand, you're going to have the iconic 4-2-3-1. England, Iran, United States, and then Wales. Adams try to get a touch on the ball. Wright can't get it there in time. As here comes England, as Kane tracks back and gets it out to Saka. Adams once again trying to get in the mix of things, but either way, England keeps the ball. Out on the left for Luke Shaw right at midfield. Maguire. Now to Stones. Once again, Saka checks back inside. Good 1-2 there with Sterling. Saka out on the side now for Luke Shaw, who's gone up the pitch. Going for Saka, back to Shaw. Shaw on the edge of the box, going up against Dest. Shaw tries to clip this through. A lot of numbers in the box. Saka, Sterling, and Kane being some of them, goes right to Turner. And maybe here we see a counter for the United States. Robinson going up the pitch. Numbers going forward. Here's Pulisic now on the left. Pulisic cutting back. Decides to forego the help from Weah. Clips this back outside now. McKennie whips this in. Header. And that goes well wide of goal. Haji Wright with his first shot of the day. Checking in as your number 9. 9 goals for him, at least during his clump season with Antalyaspor in Turkey. Let's take a look at this. Weston McKennie was the one to clip that ball in, and kind of different from what we saw against Wales on Monday. United States able to get some heads off. This one, though, by Wright skipping wide. So first shot of the day for the U.S. Both teams with 1 shot apiece in this one. Goal kick now for England. Jordan Pickford now on the ball, swings this with his left boot. Boy, was that a high kick. Going all the way to Kane, skips this up to Sterling, and Zimmerman decides to just head it back to Turner there in the middle. Turner back out to Zimmerman. United States able to get some chances. They're going to be the ones on the counter today, contrary of what we saw against Wales on Monday. Robinson down that left-hand side. Boy, have I called his name a lot. Bellingham goes down, courtesy of Musa. Free kick now for England. Bellingham and Musa, 2 guys that were on the English U17 squad 3 years ago. Of course, Bellingham got 3 appearances, while I believe Musa got 8. So those 2 were together. I don't know if they were together at the same time, but either way, on the squad at the same time. And with Yunus Musa as well, it's an interesting story in the sense that the reason why I chose the United States kind of came down to the pandemic. You see, because of the pandemic, the international window in November of 2020 was more based off friendlies rather than getting that opportunity to have World Cup qualifiers, which would have happened otherwise. So because of that, Musa, rather than staying with England and try to get that opportunity to lead the 3 Lions to a World Cup, says, you know what, I'll give the United States a chance. Of course, He was actually born in the United States in New York. His mom was on vacation when it happened. He could have actually chose a lot of interesting teams, as both of his parents are from Ghana, while he did spend a lot of time in Italy and, of course, played with the English youth national squad. So he had four options for where he could go. Of course, Italy, Euro 2020 champs, and all the other three teams competing in this 2022 World Cup decides to go with the United States. Rice decides to play back. Bellingham, rough touch there by Trippier. He's trying to direct it out to Saka, I believe, but nonetheless gives up a throw in for the United States. A little less than 19 minutes through here. Almost getting towards halftime, but then again, I think we got ways to go, at least from what we've seen in terms of stoppage time. Robinson, Pulisic just heads it back towards Maguire, who clears this forward. Maguire now to Kane. Numbers starting to come forward, including Saka, Mount, and Sterling. Now to Saka, cuts inside. Another man forward, Jude Bellingham. Bellingham off the turn with Musa, and it's Musa to win that battle there. Could have seen that on a training pitch somewhere, for all you know. Musa, now to Adams. Or McKinney, rather. Here's Des now, dashing forward. His cross is blocked there. Good work there with recovery by, I believe, Luke Shaw. Actually, it was Declan Rice on the coverage there. My bad. Here's Pulisic now in space. Gets it out. Good turn by Weah. Once again, back out to Des. Des whips this one into the box. Caught there by Pickford like a wide receiver in the end zone. Once again, Jordan Pickford trying to pick up the pace there. Of course, many people may have expected England to come out firing on all cylinders, and hasn't been the case today. It's been a 50-50 game so far, and United States, credit to them, have made this match cagey from what we've seen. As I mentioned at the top of the show, England, although they have the advantage with 8 wins, including 2 losses and 1 draw in their history with the United States has 1 win and a draw against England. Yes, they are unbeaten against the 3 Lions at the World Spectacle. As I noted, 1950, a shock win over them, including their win 1-0. And then back in, I believe, 2010, yes, 2010, U.S. beat England not to count the New York Post wrong. Nonetheless, Pulisic tries to play through for Weah over the top. It's caught there by Pickford. But either way, a draw there for the United States, 1-1. Ended up doing pretty good, as it was the last time they went unbeaten in World Cup action, as they drew Slovenia and then beat Algeria in dramatic fashion, courtesy of a Landon Donovan goal in stoppage time, caused the United States to get the number 1 spot. So, just getting off of that, too, we had some interesting action earlier today in Group A. Qatar became the first host nation to be eliminated from the World Cup through 2 games, as they lost to Ecuador on Sunday 2-0, lost to Senegal today 2-0. Netherlands and Ecuador, how about this? I think this might be one of the success stories of this World Cup so far. Ecuador, fresh off kind of getting on the rough side of things in 2014, not making it in 2018. So far, 4 points overall. They do lose the battle in terms of first place with Netherlands. Both teams currently at a +2 goal differential. This is big for both England and the United States, in the sense that the winner of the group would end up playing the second place team in Group A, and vice versa. The winner of Group A would face second place in Group B. Helps out a lot, and it's interesting to note for both England in the sense that they probably want to play like an Ecuador or a Senegal. They do not want to play Netherlands in the round of 16. Same goes for the United States. So it kind of dictates the pace, especially later on in this one. I'll probably be doing a reaction vid for Tuesday's Group A games as well. It should be some great action out on the pitch. And hey, you think about it, if Ecuador can get a win against Senegal and Netherlands and probably beat out Netherlands, at least off goal differential, that's not bad, because then they get the number 1 spot. And kind of, you think about it, the dominoes fall quite well for the United States in the sense that they could end up getting second, and it's a much more manageable knockout stage. Nonetheless, you got this game, you got Iran. They would need a win in either game, either a win today or a win against Iran to have a great chance on making the knockout. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet. Even if they lose today and they beat Iran, they still got to make sure Wales doesn't pick up full points against England, or at the very least, they beat out Wales on goal differential. Once again, it's the English back in the ball. About halfway through this first half, Stones clips this all the way up to Sterling on the left-hand side, going up against Dest in the box now. Sterling cuts inside, lost his touch there. It went right to the center as Bream just had to clear it away impromptu there. There's Maguire. Once again, ball back at midfield as England starts to settle in to a possessive role. Check in there by Mount. Haven't seen him a lot today. Nonetheless, here's Saka there at the corner, lost it there on the meanwhile. And once again, Robinson winning this battle here. I mean, of course, Anthony Robinson has at least seen these guys playing left back with Fulham, Saka playing in the Premier League with Arsenal, Trippier with Newcastle. And so far, Anthony Robinson, with that Premier League experience, one of the 8 guys, in fact, with the United States men's national team who has played, or right now currently playing in England. Of course, there's a lot of guys over time that did get some snaps in England. Of course, you look at some others. There, of course, Christian Pulisic currently playing with Chelsea. Gio Reyna, although he didn't play much, though. He ended up being born in Southampton, but started his academy training, at least proper academy training, with the MLS in New York City FC. Here's Ream, back to Musa. Pulisic tries to make a turn on the ball there, held up for a little while. No foul call. Nonetheless, play continues here. Here's McKennie going forward. McKennie lays this off for Weah now. Forgoes the cross as he goes inside for Adams. Adams now, United States this time, causing the high line to go forward. McKennie out on the right. Red, white, and blue. He has dyed his hair, at least part of his hair, for this World Cup. Here's Musa now in the box, edge of the box, gives it out to Dest. Dest on the end line, switches it back to McKennie, or Weah rather. Weah clips this one in. The shot just goes too high. Another golden opportunity, and Weston McKennie with a chance to make it 1-0, skies it past Jordan Pickford. Oh boy, what a chance for the United States. Let's take a look at this. Dest once again played it back, and it was Weah to whip this one in, and McKennie, first time shot for him. Trippier was playing off the ball, so if he wanted, he could have taken a touch on it to square it. Pulisic was also in the area. Nonetheless, score remains 0-0 here at Albight Stadium between England and the U.S. Pickford once again to send this forward. Kane can't get control of this. Robinson decides to go out towards the touchline rather than towards Turner. Falls down, pushed there by Saka. And it will be a throw-in for England. No foul called by the ref, and to add insult to injury, the ball went out, courtesy of Robinson. So another chance for England. They'll play back here right towards John Stones. Now to Declan Rice. Declan Rice has been playing back a lot today, although listed as a 6. Almost playing like a third center back there. Shaw just has to head it right there on the end line. Good control there by Dest. Bullied there in the middle, last touched off Shaw. Throw in for the United States once again. With that, McKennie tried to get the ball back in play easily, and once again, he kind of has to survey his options. Ref there with the whistle. Let's take a look at this. Boy, oh boy, what a chance for the United States. Dare I say, probably the best chance they've had, save for the Weah goal on Monday. Pulisic can't get ahead to it. Robinson came dashing through. Nonetheless, Pulisic was held. Free kick for the U.S. And Anthony Robinson, in my opinion, has been the best player on the pitch for the United States, being all over in terms of the left and center part of it. And he's won pretty big battles, too. You think about it, Kieran Trippier and Bukayo Saka. Pretty tough tests, and boy, has he stepped up to the occasion. Greg Berhalter talked before in terms when he was sitting down with the ESPN crew to talk about the roster when it was revealed. He talked about the idea of getting these players forward and getting guys with Premier League experience, knowing they're facing Wales and England, 2 prominent British sides. And since he wanted to get that idea of what it meant to play a Premier League side in some of these games, Anthony Robinson being one of them. And Robinson actually was born in England, one of the few guys on the side for the United States with ties to England, born in Milton Keynes, went through the Everton Academy, ended up being selected by the United States. Nonetheless, here's Pulisic now as he enters towards the box. Robinson out on the wing. McKennie once again checking back inside, back out towards Robinson. Robinson out of Musa, edge of the box. Musa, shot deflected, goes right into the hands of Pickford. Had to make a standing catch there. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, right off the leg of Declan Rice. Got a little backspin on it, which I think made it easier for Pickford to save as it went right towards him. Didn't have to make a diving save. Trippier clipped out there right off of Musa, throw-in for England. If you're just tuning in, you have missed no goals so far. Although United States has had majority of the chances and majority of the shots. Harry Kane had a chance about 20 minutes ago in the ninth minute. Other than that, the United States with many chances. Weston McKennie skied one in the box earlier today. Here's Luke Shaw, plays this through now for Mason Mount. Cut away there by Dest. Turner dashes to get that one. As once again, the United States still remaining calm under pressure. 30th minute here from Alcor. Here's Ream. Passes to his fellow center back, Walker Zimmerman. Ream playing with Fulham, a teammate of Robinson's, and Walker Zimmerman being the only MLS player out there on the pitch currently, in sense with playing with Nashville FC. Matt Turner used to play with the New England Revolution, one of the best goalkeepers for the United States in terms of MLS play, before making the trip to the other side of the pond, now playing with Arsenal. Has had a few chances with the Europa League as the years gone along. Here's Des now, playing for Musa. Musa, once again, going back to his center back in Ream. Ream back out to Robinson as we approach 30 minutes in this one. Musa tripped up there, and the ref says a free kick for the United States. A lot of chances, and Musa is down writhing in pain, pointing towards his left ankle. It was a nifty flick to by Pulisic. Boy, oh boy. After remaining kind of stagnant and one-sided in his play, he has pulled out a lot of dimensions. His flick there to Musa caused the free kick. Kudos there to Captain America. So far, the United States remaining stagnant. Boy, oh boy, would a goal be big for them. They need a win against either England or Iran if they are to advance. Most likely, then they would have to kind of play the goal differential game in order to officially get one of the spots. As I mentioned earlier, Ecuador and Netherlands, most likely the team. Senegal kind of on the outside looking in Group A when you look at the knockouts. This one clipped forward there by Zimmerman. Weah held there on the play. Nonetheless, Bellingham just cuts it outside for Shaw. Mount goes down to the ground. No foul called as Adams wins it back. And now they will give the free kick to England. That was a late whistle there from the ref. And Adams, too, is a little confused by the call. Nonetheless, I think it was probably the right call. Just might have been a little less. It was McKennie going up against Mountain. Yeah, I think Mount might have flopped there. Yeah, that was a flop, all right. Going right towards his face, covering his face, saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm down. But either way, here comes England on the attack. Trippier sends this one in, headed away before Bellingham could do any danger to it. Once again, back to the center backs, back to John Stones. Here's Harry Maguire on the ball. Stones. And with that, we go back to base with Pickford. Pickford up to Dest. Good header there on Sterling. Battle in the middle. Adams went down. Nifty spin move there by McKennie. He has also been dynamic today in the midfield. Here he is on the ball going up against Rice. Edge of the box. McKennie now will settle his run. Flips this towards the top for Musa. Musa plays this out for Pulisic. Pulisic now, what can he do? He rips a shot off the crossbar. A golden opportunity. Christian Pulisic tried his luck. Just too high for the United States. Captain America almost laying out the power there with his shield. Musa there with a great ball. Boy, oh boy. This United States team playing much more dynamic and much more fluid than what we saw against Wales on Monday. Oh boy, what a chance. What a chance. I don't know if Pickford might have gotten a touch of that. He might have gotten the slightest of touches too. Nonetheless, another Jordan Pickford goal kick all the way back, and Harry Kane goes up to meet it, still in the area, and Ream heads it right to Turner. Whistle was called as Kane is now down in pain. Might be a free kick now for England. Let's take a look at this. It was Kane going up against Zimmerman there, and Zimmerman kind of hip checked him as Kane went down to the ground. Able to kind of control himself as once again England now has an opportunity to get forward. Right now, it's Trippier standing over the ball. Mason Mount, Bukayo Saka, and Harry Kane, or pardon me, Luke Shaw, are also over it. Good crowd on tap tonight. England against the United States. England on the left side, United States on the right, according to the camera. It's kind of been what we've seen throughout this World Cup in terms of the home side, aka the team that's on the left of your screen is going to be kind of the home side. They'll be on the left and United States on the right. Nonetheless, Trippier sends this one towards the box. It's headed up. Dest clears it away. Rough touch there by Wright, who was defending, and now he will send this up the pitch. United States with only a few men forward, being Weah and Pulisic. So not having your number 9 forward, that's an interesting ideal, but that's respect there for Haji Wright. Making his appearance today, only his 5th cap, 1 goal overall, which was a penalty kick he converted against Morocco at TQL Stadium back in June. Here's Stones once again. Back to Trippier. It's kind of a little switch there. Trippier playing that right center back role. Stones goes up the pitch. Not going to pass to him as once again goes back to Trippier. Interesting move there by England to kind of move the pitch, and now we'll see a change there with Stones coming back to his regular center back position. Here's Stones once again going through, surveying his options, cutting away. Nifty work there. John Stones, a Manchester City guy, getting some moments there. Of course, kind of playing a good backline with Nathan Ake, playing for Netherlands, and then also Emerick Laporte, who has been on the Spain squad a while. I think he might be on the squad this World Cup. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. Either way, here comes England on the other side. Luke Shaw. It's got options on both sides. Shaw lets it go for Mount. Mount going up against Dest. Mount clips this in towards Bellingham. He was wide open. Couldn't get the best touch on it. It's still in the box. As Adams tries to clear it, it's still there as Shaw goes out to Mount. Mount clips this through, and it's caught by Turner looking for Kane there. Turner wastes no time going forward, and here's Pulisic now trying to get on the run. Stones heads that one away. Good recovery there on the City man. Manchester City against Chelsea there on that battle. There's a lot of Premier League battles in this one. I mean, if you grew up watching the Premier League, setting your alarm early, you're going to find a lot of guys in this game. And boy, oh boy, it's an interesting matchup. Easy for me. I mean, not just the fact that it's England against the United States, so rather usual English pronunciations, but the fact that I've seen a lot of these guys play before, just not for their country. Speaking of which, one of those guys being Walker Zimmerman, who plays in MLS. Here's Musa. Cutaway there. Falls right to Weah. Strangled there, but nonetheless, play continues. Weah has been playing back a lot today. We saw that happen with Pulisic. Now it's going to be Weah, the man who is playing back today, fresh off his goal against Wales on Monday. Robinson, now to Pulisic. U.S. guilty party there with the handball. England was calling for it there on their left-hand side, or right-hand side, rather. U.S.'s left-hand side. Tense moments here. 37 minutes. We've got 8 minutes plus stoppage time left to go in this first half. Tied up here between England and the United States. So far, for Greg Berhalter and the boys, not bad. Not bad overall, knowing how things shaped up against Wales. The question is, can they make the most of it? Maybe put the pressure on England a little bit with the goal. This one cleared away there by Maguire out towards the touchline. McKennie, good balance to try to keep this one in. One back there by Adams. Adams tussling with 2 guys there. It was Bellingham and Mount to the ball. Able to win a throw-in here. All right, here's Dest now on the right. And he will forego this with Weston McKennie taking the throw-in. Might be a long throw-in as he backs up towards the video boards. Actually has to wash his hands on a photographer's vest. How about that? I don't want to say it's classic Weston McKennie, but that's something right here. Nonetheless, McKennie, long throw into the box. Zimmerman was actually brought forward. How about that? Still in the box, and Wright controls this one on the end line, looks for options. Cut away there by Maguire, and it will be a United States corner kick on the far side of the pitch. Haji Wright getting a lot of action here. Came off the bench for Josh Sargent on Monday, getting the start today over the Norwich City striker. Again, another big moment for the United States. Can they convert? For both teams, this is when they got their first goal around this time. Is it the case here? Pulisic, outswinger into the box, headed away there by Maguire. Robinson with the header, but Dest was strangling the Englishman there. Free kick to the Three Lions. Pickford out on the right. Trippier. Trippier back to Stones. John Stones on the ball, checks it into his holding mid, Declan Rice, back out to Trippier. Trippier cut away there by Adams. Good work there by both sides. Here's Musa now on the ball. Numbers need to get forward for the United States as Musa still dances on the ball, looks for options, decides to give it out to Serginho Dest on the right. Back to Eunice. Goes to McKennie, pip forward. Here's Wright now in the middle, edge of the box. Clips this one in, looking for Pulisic, too far. As it was also Musa there in the box. We've seen a lot of these U.S. midfielders getting forward, something we saw them do against Mexico so many times last year. Here's Mount, places through for Saka. U.S. has got to be careful here as England goes for the counter. Now they'll settle it down, numbers going forward, and it's Weah to pick up the ball here as the Englishmen just kind of let it be there on the side. Last touched, I believe, off of Sterling, or Bellingham rather, throw in for the United States. Much better half than at least I imagined for the U.S. Especially after the news. I mean, many, for my opinion, some people, especially with Iran, people were like, all right, you know what? Either way, a draw is not different than a loss here. And I think Greg Berhalter communicated that to the guys saying, you got to get goals. Could they get one here? Here's Dest now entering the area. Dest now in the box. Dest, shot deflected out of play, trickles out. United States corner kick, I believe, this time on the near side of the pitch. Serginho Dest getting up the pitch here. One of those guys to go forward and attack. 20 caps, but 2 goals in that frame. It's part of Greg Berhalter's philosophy. Love to get the fullbacks up the pitch. It was a left-footed shot deflected off the right peg of Harry Maguire. Corner kick now for the United States. Tension now building for the red, white, and blue. Can they pull a shot goal here? Here we go. Pulisic now on the left-hand side. 42nd minute. He whips this one into the box, headed away there by Stones. Goes out, United States throw-in. Let's see who takes it here. It could be a long throw-in by McKennie, kind of deeming it another set piece. It'll be Tyler Adams to take the throw, actually, believe it or not. Number 6 taking it. That's an interesting decision there, both by Adams and by Berhalter to allow it. Of course, Berhalter there wasn't to execute his world-famous bounce pass, as he likes to call it. He likes to use that in terms of just get the pace back on for the U.S. Here's Musa, not a Pulisic. Good checking in from the United States so far. Here's Weah back outside. Nonetheless, right now on the right-hand side, back to Dest. Dest whips this one in. Header! And it will go wide. Christian Pulisic with the chance there. The United States doing well on the wings, and I think it's building some tension for the English. Well favored in this game. I believe it was a negative 175 were the odds going into this one that England would win, plus 650 the United States would get 3 points. Dest there was a good header. I mean, Serginho Dest's quality has gotten so much better from what we saw. And maybe it's because he's been able to win that battle with Luke Shaw compared to Nico Williams on Monday. But boy, oh boy, Serginho Dest, Anthony Robinson. You talk about Berhalter's philosophy, very similar with Southgate's in terms of getting the fullbacks up. Boy, have the United States delivered today. Taking a look at that, 3 shots for England, 6 for the United States, one of them on goal. So I think it was Pulisic's first chance that just got off of Pickford and then banged off the crossbar. Here's Shaw whipping this one in, caught by Turner, as it was another dangerous run, I believe, by Saka to get that one in. Saka had the ball. Now it's out to McKennie. Back to Des. You have to love the play from the United States, getting forward and especially getting out on the wings. A lot of these guys have utilized the open spaces, and that being said, Anthony Robinson fumbles, the ball goes out. Throwing now for England. Here's Rice. Mount. Back out to Luke Shaw, the left back. About a minute plus stoppage time remaining here in this first half, still 0-0. And as I mentioned, United States with double the chances, at least when it comes to shots England has had. Here's Bellingham now on the right-hand side. Bellingham whips this one in, headed away there. Good work by Zimmerman. Boy, has he been redeeming himself after the rough showing on Monday. Shaw cutting inside, places in for Saka, and he sends it off target. Another big chance for England, and once again, the United States lives to see another day. And Luke Shaw, too. You talk about fullbacks getting up. Goes almost to the end line, plays a nice ground ball in, and Saka couldn't get his best touch on it. Interesting first half. I will say that. A very interesting first half for the United States. Once again, here's Luke Shaw, who's got a little picture there. Shaw's been playing left back, playing left wing back for a while, scored the opener in the Euro 2020 final last year. Speaking of Shaw, there he is with the head to get it right to Harry Kane. Kane just lets it go here. We're in stoppage time. It's only a minute long. Haven't seen that many fouls, not too many injuries, so that's the cause for this to happen. Nonetheless, here's Shaw out to Bellingham trying to play through for Mount. His shot saved by Turner. Mason Mount with a good chance about 19 yards out from goal. Number 19 there, saved by Matt Turner of the United States. Good work there by England, but a better save by the Arsenal goalkeeper. Still 0-0 here at Al Khor. So corner kick, probably last chance of the half for England if they are to get the opener. Nonetheless, corner kick to come in. Going outside is going to be Kieran Trippier to take it. Past the 1 minute of the stoppage time, so this should probably be it in terms of the first half. The United States fans right behind Matt Turner and the crew whip this one in, caught by Turner. Turner surveys his options. He'll probably just slow down the pace. And with that, he punts it out of bounds. Halftime here at Al Bayt Stadium in Al Khor, Qatar. And it's the United States knotted up 0-0 with England. They may have heard the announcement with Iran beating Wales and said, you know what, let's get a win because they have had majority of the chances. 6 shots, one of them on goal. England with 5 shots with one of them on goal. It's been a 50-50 matchup and shows on the score sheet. Halftime is coming up, and after that, I'll be back for the second half right here on my reaction vids, right here on YouTube. I'm back. Back for the second half of this one. Interesting first half overall. Better than a lot of people expected. Still 0-0 between United States and England. I'm Hirson Hassan. Thanks for joining me on this Black Friday afternoon. Boy, we got a lot of action, of course, here at ASU. ASU's football teams facing off against Arizona. I'll probably be tuning into that after this game. But overall, not bad for United States men's national team that will need at least one win to advance to the knockout stage. And then we'll probably need some help, but still, one win. And you still got that chance up for grabs. To note, if it is still a draw between these two sides, the United States still will control their destiny. However, they will need again a win against Iran to advance to the knockouts. If they get a win today against England, a draw could help them out a little bit, especially knowing what's going on in Group A. Netherlands and Ecuador are currently on top of that group, with 4 points, both of which have +2 goal differentials. However, based off yellow cards, Netherlands currently has the lead there. In third place is Senegal. Netherlands faces Qatar, who has already bowed out of this World Cup with 0 points. And then Ecuador and Senegal, the two middle teams, will face each other on a Tuesday. And yes, I will probably have reaction vids. I'll be doing simultaneous work on that. That will be at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, before 2 o'clock Eastern, which will be 12 o'clock here. United States against Iran with a chance to go to the World Cup knockouts for their third consecutive appearance on the line. But first, 45 minutes to go here from Al Bayt Stadium in Al Khor. Both teams back out on the pitch. The United States still in the all blue, England in the all white. United States back out in the huddle. England slowly makes their way out. A shocking half for them after still going through this feel out phase against Iran before they kind of just put pedal to the metal, ended up being up 3-0 at halftime and kind of sealing the deal in that game. This is a different story for England in the sense that, when you look back at how many times they've faced, and actually, believe it or not, going into this game, England had a rough go at it, actually. U.S. goes into this game with a 4-game winless streak, but you think about it, England as well in the Nations League going into this World Cup, 2 wins, no losses, and 2 draws. Those 2 draws to Germany, but you look at it overall, they picked up some losses to like Hungary and Italy, 2 teams that are not in this World Cup, and actually they were on a winless streak for quite a while before the game against Iran kind of drew them back to where they are today. So England trying to once again get another win or at least get a draw, remain unbeaten in this World Cup. Back underway here at Al Bayt Stadium. United States now going from left to right. England now going from right to left. No changes made at halftime. However, for the United States, this will be big if they want to advance, and especially for Greg Berhalter, who kind of botched up the changes, especially in the last game. Nonetheless, here we see the United States again. Musa plays through Christian Pulisic, back to Yunus Musa, back out on the left-hand side. Anthony Robinson. Back to Tyler Adams, now Yunus Musa. Back out to Robinson. Robinson clips this one in, headed away there by Declan Rice, throw in for the United States. So just like that, picking up where they left off in the first half. So still the refs sorting some things out. Robinson now with the throw-in. Now to Adams, back out to Robinson on the left, clipped away there by Trippier. Another throw-in deep in the attacking third. We saw McKennie take a long throw-in earlier in the half. Could we see that again here? No. Back to Robinson, who took the throw-in. Now we see Robinson with the ball at his feet. Gives it back as the U.S. looks to recycle the play as it goes back to Tim Ream. Sends it all the way back to Walker Zimmerman. Zimmerman, the fellow center back, sends it all the way back to base, and Matt Turner, who has to run a little bit to get it, but not much overall. Turner, back to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's still looking for some options. Now he's got Ream. There's Tim Ream again, back out to Zimmerman. Walker Zimmerman's kind of been around in the MLS for quite a while. Started out with FC Dallas, partnered with Matt Hedges. Eventually went out to LAFC for a while, which he kind of did with Kellen Acosta. Turner here just got to clear it as Kane brought the pressure for England. Just like that, clipped forward. Wright tries to get a touch on the ball. He does, but it's given right back to Shaw. Last touch off of Wright, throw in for England. I was looking at some stuff during Twitter, and some people were saying maybe to take Wright out and put in Gio Reyna or Brendan Aronson, two guys that have the pace and have the power. Aronson came in late, or rather not too late, but he played about 30, 35 minutes or so against Wales. So this one's clipped out by Shaw. Bellingham foregoes it for Trippier. Trippier now on the left gives it out to Saka. On the right, can't play it back. Good cut there by Robinson. And here come the United States. Pulisic going forward. Pulisic with options. Plays it through. Here's Haji Wright. Here's Haji now on the right. Cutting inside. Haji's shot is blocked. Falls all the way to McKennie. McKennie! Too high. Again, United States with many opportunities as Weston McKennie fired this one about 18 yards out. And once again, you've got to give credit there. Might have been Tim Weah or Haji Wright. From that angle, it looked like it might have been Haji on the ball, and yes, indeed it was. But Weston McKennie, too, I mean, from what we saw, the guy was kind of just strut up in the middle on Monday. He has had so much space to go forward. And kind of says something about what this United States men's national team can do when they're kind of moving the cogs, especially against this class side in England. Runner-up in Euro 2020, got fourth at the last World Cup in 2018. Bellingham. Jude Bellingham back to John Stones. John Stones once again plays forward. Mason Mount opting for the short sleeves after playing in long sleeves in the first half. Back to Trippier. Trippier now to Raheem Sterling. Sterling past Adams. Robinson able to cut him out, though. Good work. Boy, oh boy. Anthony Robinson. Guy who grew up in England, played with Milton Keynes, born in Milton Keynes, rather. Actually, when he was in the academy, never got called up to England's youth side. And he said when he got called up to the United States men's national team, he said he felt like he was 10 feet tall. He loves to win every game, but as he says, he wants to beat England more, especially knowing a lot of this competition. Something that I noted last week, too, and I noted on Monday, the fact that the United States men's national team kind of represents what America's all about. All these guys coming through together for kind of the same purpose, especially for this team. First, trying to advance out of the group stage, and then for the second part of the tournament, according to Greg Berhalter, the knockout stage. Nonetheless, here's Mount on the attack. Cut away there by Adams. Cleared away. Good work there by Wright. Here's Pulisic now going forward. Pulisic in space. Trippier tracks back, and he'll send this out to Wright on the left. Throw in for the U.S. It was actually Musa there who will take the throw in. Yunus Musa kind of playing that left-hand side. He's done a good job overall. Zimmerman clipped out a little too far for Dest. Throwing for the Brits, or rather not the Brits, the English. You think about it, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know how the UK works. It used to be England, Scotland, Northern Ireland. I don't know if Wales I think Wales is part of the UK. So, yeah, the Wales are technically the British. Okay. Here's Musa on the ball. Pulisic, okay, he goes the wrong way. Should have gone to the left where Robinson was there. Now he's got to track back as here comes England on the attack. Saka going forward. He's got numbers going forward, going up against Adams. Crunching tackle by Tyler Adams, the Leeds man. Throwing now for England. He is hyped after that, and now he's probably given a mouthful. The captain doing his work there with Anthony Robinson, who had to track back there. Speaking of Robinson, pokes it out for another English throw-in. Trippier. Here's Maguire now on the ball. Harry Maguire finds a hole, gives it right back to Ream, who plays it forward. So looking for Haji right there. Not or Tim Weah rather. He's not going to get there. Tim Weah's on the right. Haji Wright has kind of been playing in the center of the pitch today. Note to self. Here's Trippier. Declan Rice. Stones back to Bellingham, getting some pressure here by Adams. Gives it right back. No foul called as England starts to resettle. Plays a split pass through for Kane. And here's Mount on the attack. A little too far. Zimmerman plays back to Turner. Nifty touch to get away there from a running Saka and Sterling as it goes back to the U.S. Here's McKennie now. Plays for Weah. Weah lost the balls. It's given right back to England as Maguire plays back to base in Jordan Pickford. Harry Maguire, haven't seen a lot from him, especially from the air, which was the case against Iran. Maguire overall, 49 appearances, so he's making his 50th cap for his country, 7 goals overall. Good work with Manchester United, of course, over the years. Sometimes getting on the wrong end of stuff as Weah went down in a little while. Let's take a look at this. I think Shaw got the last touch, but Tim Weah went down, was writhing in pain. Now he's gotten up. The question is, it might be a good opportunity if Berhalter wants to bring someone on. You got Gio Reyna on the bench, who suffered some injuries earlier this year, but nonetheless is 100% healthy, according to him. Didn't get into the game against Wales. So we could see maybe Gio Reyna make his World Cup debut here in these next 36 and a half minutes plus stoppage time. Maybe coming in for Weah, I don't know. Either way, Tim Weah stays in the game for now. Throw in for the United States. It's McKennie to take the throw in. I think with just like that, U.S. will just play it back to England. Good show of sportsmanship there by the red, white, and blue. Nonetheless, Pickford gets it out to Stones as England tries to get something going here. Bellingham, once again, forced to track back, listed as an 8. Of course, this English side very stacked, but Bellingham, of course, playing well up the pitch from what we've seen during his days at Dortmund. Great season he is having over there. Actually, in that case, Jude Bellingham, the only English player that is not on a Premier League side, believe it or not. Here's Luke Shaw, plays for Manchester United, gets it out to Kane. It's played back, but nonetheless has numbers forward. Mount on the left, circling against Dest. And just like that, goes back to Maguire. Center backs for England try to build out of the back a lot of times today. The United States have remained stagnant, especially on the wings, in stopping them. Outside for Trippier again. England content to just play the pass around. We're 10 minutes through the second half. Stones, now to Saka. Now to Trippier. Couldn't play through there, looking for, I believe it was Bellingham. Throwing now as Trippier just gives it back to Stones. Stones will just settle the ball. Nobody pressuring him so far as it's clipped over to Shaw on the left-hand side. Shaw once again plays back to Rice. Rice played by Stones, clipped away, headed away there actually by Pulisic, believe it or not. Speaking of Pulisic, here he is on the ball, trying to get forward, cut away there, and the free kick will be given to the U.S. Saka was in the middle, and probably for good news for the United States as they did have a fullback. I believe it might have been Shaw or Trippier getting in to try to take the ball back and send it into the box. Nonetheless, free kick for the U.S. still in the defensive half of the pitch. Not too many opportunities saved for that one chance to start off where Haji Wright got a shot blocked and McKennie sent one into the bleachers. Here's Zimmerman again. Zimmerman? Now to Tim Ream. Those two, some of the veterans on this U.S. side, Zimmerman being 29, and then Ream being 35, listed as the oldest guy on this U.S. men's national team roster. Great to see him get an opportunity to play at the world stage before his time playing soccer is up. Yes, I said soccer, not football. Just in case if there's any Brits that are going to be watching this. Robinson, now to Musa. In space, Musa gives it out to McKennie on the right. Plays it through for Weah. This could be dangerous. Weah squares in the middle right. Can't get to it. Another good chance as Adams just decides to play back for Turner as England unable to launch a counterattack there. Zimmerman once again out to Dest. Lost the ball there as he goes up against Sterling. Serginho Dest plays right back for Barcelona during his club days. Raheem Sterling, the Chelsea man, got a lot of chances at left wing when he was with Manchester City. Now he's kind of playing all over the pitch during his time at Chelsea. Here's Ream. Tim Ream, once again directing traffic. Both sides have started to do that, kind of slow the pace down overall. As here's Robinson back out to Pulisic. Out on the wing, he's got McKennie in the middle. Pulisic keeps it himself. He's still going, and his shot just trickles wide of net. Was it deflected off England? I don't know. Pulisic's calling for the ball, thinking that it is a corner kick. Let's take a look at this. So it's about 25 yards out, and yes, Declan Rice did deflect it out. Another corner kick for the United States men's national team. Here we go again. 59th minute, about 31 minutes plus stoppage time, and he's hyping up the U.S. crowd that is right behind him here in the corner flag. Some of them dressed up like the founding fathers. How about that? How about that for a troll? Nonetheless, Pulisic sends us into the box. Zimmerman had a wide open head, but it was cut away by the English at the right time. Musa had the ball, but then overall was cut down there as an Englishman went down. Goal kick, or rather free kick. Maguire, the one that fell to the ground, courtesy of Musa. Let's take a look at this again, because Walker Zimmerman had a wide open run, and Harry Maguire saved probably England from being down 1-0. How about this? Just heading it up in the air. Walker Zimmerman, it would have probably grazed his head right in the moment. Point blank header, but Harry Maguire, the Manchester United defender, doing his job there. Of course, Man U fans can beg to differ, but at least with England, doing a good job today. Robinson wins the header. Adams heads it out to Pulisic. Here's Anthony Robinson again on the left-hand side. Robinson whips this one in. Another deflection and another corner for the United States. Boy, oh boy, are these corners just going left, right, and center for the red, white, and blue. Everybody on their feet on the right side of Albion Stadium. Christian Pulisic once again to take the corner from the left-hand side for the U.S. A lot of big bodies in the box. As here's Pulisic, 60th minute, whips this one in. This one headed up once again by Maguire. Still up in the area. McKennie's there. Adams gives chase to it as it's once again back out to Pulisic. Heavy touch on the end line. Kane cuts it away. And here we go, another corner kick for the U.S. How about that? I'm just stunned. England just is like, all right, corner. And the United States so far saying thank you very much, building momentum. This being their 5th corner of the day. Once again, another corner kick for the United States. Pulisic whips this one into the box. Zimmerman can't get his head to it. Musa on the recovery. Gives it out to Ream. Ream pips it out to Pulisic, who is onside here, edge of the box. Pulisic goes end line cutaway there by Harry Kane. Pulisic tries to track back on England's number 9 as he goes forward, cutaway there by the defense for the United States. I believe it might have been Ream doing the dirty work. Good work there by the United States. So here's Musa. Now to Dest. Back out to Tim Ream. And Ream, once again, plays back to Zimmerman. The United States playing nice and calm. You wouldn't tell that. This does not look like a team that drew 1-1 to Wales. I will tell you that. This does not look like a team that drew 1-1 to Wales and has struggled overall. As Adams goes out to Dest. Musa on the ball. Back to goal and sends it back to Zimmerman. Zimmerman once again surveys his options, gets it out to Dest. Dest on the right with space to work with. Goes inside, cuts inside, forgoes some options, plays it into Pulisic. Pulisic, his shot, try to play it in for right as it's headed away there by Trippier. Again, Sterling with the header. And once again, McKennie to cut out, or Adams rather, to cut out. Mount shoves him to the ground, and it's another set piece for the United States in the form of a free kick. Tyler Adams, the captain for the squad, and we can see why Greg Berhalter named him so at the beginning of this tournament. Doing the dirty work, putting his body in harm's way to get those tackles. Actually had a red card for Leeds before this game actually was the case. Tottenham and Leeds played off in a thriller. Tottenham, of course, being Harry Kane's club team, in which Tottenham won 4-3. Adams was actually sent off in that game with the red card. Doesn't affect him much, of course, ended up playing for the U.S., hopping on a plane from London to Doha right after. But either way, not bad. Musa, now to Robinson. Robinson plays through for Wright. Wright, can he get there? No, but once again, off of Trippier for a United States corner kick. Trippier was in there, so was John Stones, who's trying to argue that Wright took the last touch. Either way, the United States fans are back out on their feet. I don't know if they're going to show another cut of the Founding Fathers in this game, but either way, corner kick for the U.S. going up against the former motherland in England. Once again, Captain America Christian Pulisic to take the corner here. There we go. Pulisic whips this one into the box, far post. Pickford got a touch to it just to save it away. Nobody was there on the back post for the United States, luckily. But either way, it could have been dangerous for England as the United States creeps towards goal. Zimmerman once again on the back post could have at least tried to recollect on that backhand side. Either way, now it'll be a corner kick on the other side of the pitch as Pulisic heads to that side, once again hyping the crowd up. Could this be the breakthrough for the United States here in the 65th minute? Christian Pulisic over the ball. Whips this one into the box, headed away. McKennie was the closest yank to get it there. And a free kick is called there for England. Dest going up against Bellingham, I believe. And now, first time in a while, England will have true possession of the ball. Dare I say, probably 5 minutes or so. Lots and lots of chances for the U.S. on set pieces, unable to convert. Could be a talking point for the United States in training as they get ready for Tuesday's match against Iran. Jordan Henderson may be getting ready to check in for England. Henderson, another experienced guy on the squad, 70 caps overall with 2 goals. Most caps amongst the midfielders on this team. Of course, a lot of forwards listed on this team, although Raheem Sterling playing as a midfielder today, Bukayo Saka playing as a midfielder today. So not everybody is listed in that midfielder category. Nonetheless, here's Shaw out on the left. 25 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here from All Bayt Stadium as Zimmerman cuts this one away. The United States has remained stagnant as it looks like England will head to their bench soon. Maybe Jack Grealish could be coming in. A lot of guys got goals, Grealish being one of them against Iran as he got goal number 6. Nonetheless, this one clipped in. Kane can't get to it as it's cut away by Adams, chipped out of the box by Ream. Once again, ball goes back to England as it's Kane out to Saka, plays this across, and just like that, Matt Turner able to collect in a 6-yard box. Just like that, U.S. on the counter. Weston McKennie still working his way through, cut away there by Rice. Slowly rolls out for a United States throw-in. The question is for Berhalter is when he starts to go to the bench. The United States has yet to make a change in this one. They have kept momentum, which I think does play a role, but the other fact is, do you want to put these changes in? You know, the fact that we haven't seen Haji Wright that much in this game. Do you decide to put Brendan Aronson or Gio Reyna out there to try to get some energy back? Speaking of energy, here's Anthony Robinson on the left side. Pulisic, now to Musa. Yunus Musa right at midfield. Out to Serginho Dest, out on the right for McKennie. We've seen McKennie and Dest change a lot on that right-hand side. As here's Weah on the ball, back to McKennie. McKennie, rough touch there by Musa. Cut away there by John Stones. With that, Zimmerman heads it back towards goal. And here we go. US resets again. There's Adams. Playing in the same line as the center backs right now. Ream once again back to Tyler Adams. Leeds United man gives it off to Walker Zimmerman. Goes towards midfield. Once again, Tyler Adams. You're just surveying what's open. Gives it out to Ream, going towards end line. He decides to just clip it forward for Pulisic. Too far as Pickford sees this out for another England goal kick. And with that, we have some changes coming up. Maybe. Haven't seen the camera change, and now it has. So Jordan Henderson will now be checking in, potentially, and Raheem Sterling will be checking out. So Raheem Sterling is out, and his former Manchester City teammate Jack Grealish will replace him on the pitch. On the other side, Jude Bellingham will be out. The Dortmund man will be replaced by Liverpool man and Liverpool captain in that regards, Jordan Henderson. So both sides, Jack Grealish, 2 goals overall for the country, 25 appearances for him as he replaces Sterling, the guy with the most caps for the English national team. And then you got Jordan Henderson, which, as I said, 70 caps overall. That's pretty high up. I believe that might actually be tied for third with Kyle Walker, who is also on the bench today. Here's Saka. England trying to get some energy forward. As here's Luke Shaw in space. Grealish out on the wing. Shaw clips this one in, headed away there. Good work by Tim Ream as Kane was lurking on the back post. Stones. Back out by Henderson. Out to Trippier. Back to Bukayo Saka again. Going to Kane. Looks for options as the 9 places right into Musa. Pulisic on the run, chips this forward, too far for a running Weah. Tense moments here at Alcor. If England was to get a win today, they would go to the knockouts. If they draw, they would still need some help as they would need to beat Wales, or sometimes at the very least draw to them. For the United States, because of Iran beating Wales earlier today 2-0, they would need to get at least a win either in today's game or against Iran on Tuesday if they are to go to the knockouts. Here's Grealish now inside the box, dribbling in the area. Adams goes for a tackle. Looked like it was a clean one as Weah gets tripped up there. No foul called from either side as Dest plays back to Turner. Matt Turner just sends us up the pitch. 20 minutes plus stoppage time left from Al Bayt Stadium. Second biggest stadium being used for this 2022 World Cup, and boy, have the fans brought the energy. England and the United States were some of the countries getting the most tickets for the World Cup, making their trip from their respective countries many miles, thousands of miles, to Qatar to support their team. Here's Zimmerman. Now back to Adams, kind of going back to how Declan Rice was playing in the first half, playing back almost like a third center back on occasion. And here we go back to Matt Turner. U.S. contempt to let England dictate the pace as Adams sends it out to Dest. Dest with a good peg with his right boot as here he goes past Mount. Couldn't get past Shaw. Goes down. Last touched. I think it might have been off of Shaw's. Serginho Dest kind of sits on the ground, has to kind of recover there. Dirt on both of his knees. Fresh off that challenge there. There's a cut there in the middle too. Shaw might have actually hit one of his knees, which I can imagine probably caused a painful reaction. And the English fans are clapping once again as we see some or rather not fans, but some of the players getting some treatment and some water as well. Tim Weah and Weston McKennie being some of the guys. So Shaw plays it back for Maguire. Maguire once again to Stones. Seen those two control the ball a lot. Maguire playing left center back and Stones playing right center back today. Stones again Trippier. Back to Stones. England content to let this play out. They control most of the pace and power here, and it's kind of settling into what many of us expected. The United States getting most of their chances off the counter. Back to Pickford. Shaw again, as the United States starts to show some pressure. So it's Weah, Wright, McKennie, and Pulisic. Wright has played a little bit back, and Weah has kind of taken the role as the number 9 for now. Here's Mount. Once again for Grealish. Grealish taking off the ball, and that little shove there by Dest causes a free kick for the Three Lions. And Jack Grealish, too, a guy that scored a lot of goals with Aston Villa, ended up going to Manchester City, only managing 2 goals in the entire season. Many of those games coming off the bench, but either way, able to get a call up here. Could he probably do something there? Zimmerman nutmegs. Grealish crosses into the box for Kane. Cut away there by Musa and cleared away there by Adams. Weah now on the counter, and that one is tackled. A crunching 1-2 by Maguire. Back to Grealish. 1-on-1 against Dest. Dest cuts it away for now as it goes back to Shaw. Henderson. Rice. And here we go to the other side of the pitch now with Stones. Now to Kane again. Ream giving him some trouble as Saka plays it out to Trippier. It's Maguire again. Now to Henderson. Henderson kind of playing that left back role as Shaw has kind of gone up the pitch as left mid. So we've seen him do this before, both with England and Manchester United. We've seen a lot of scoreless draws too, just saying. 4 scoreless draws overall. There was only 1 at the 2018 World Cup, and it was Denmark and France. Both teams just decided kind of pass the ball around as both teams were heading to the knockout. They were content with where they were at, and so that's how that transpired. This is a little different. It's match day 2. United States, with a win, puts themselves in a very good position to go to the next round, potentially getting a point against Iran. Well, they have to get at least a point against Iran if they win. If it's a draw or a loss, then they would need a win against Iran on Tuesday to advance. Here's Grealish now. Moving to the middle of the pitch, playing like a center mid, as he now plays it out to Mason Mount. Ambiguous play here by England. Shaw on the overlap. He's going to get it here as it goes back to Mount. Mount and Shaw give it out to Rice. Declan Rice clips this out to Trippier. Kieran Trippier going up against Robinson today. The U.S. fullbacks have done a decent job when it comes to controlling the pace. The question is, now that we are 75 minutes through, does Greg Berhalter use a change in this game? We have not seen any change so far as England has started to regain some momentum in this. We have not even seen a cut with Berhalter talking to any of his substitutes or any of them warming up. So this is a very interesting decision here by Berhalter to not bring any subs in. We are 75 minutes through, 15 minutes plus stoppage time remain. So I don't know what Greg's thinking, honestly. Could be going any way. Saka plays this out to Trippier. Kane on the overlap. Harry Kane on the ball, gets it out to Saka. He'll cut back. Actually, it was Henderson there. Nonetheless, Robinson cuts it away, clears it away. And just like that, I think lather, rinse, repeat. Kane gets it out to Saka, cut by Ream, deflected off of Saka, goal kick for the U.S. We're going to see what Berhalter's really up to here because he got some scrutiny in the Wales game in the sense of playing high up the pitch, and in the sense that kind of caused the United States to be out of it a little bit. And almost at the end, Gareth Bale almost chipped them, which would have caused Wales to win the game 2-1. With that, we're going to see our first American change of the day. And it's going to be what many of us expect. Weston McKennie, although dealing with not too many injuries, had a little knack before the World Cup with his hamstring. Nonetheless, played a good amount against Wales. He will be heading out. And just like we saw again on Monday, Brendan Aronson will now be back on the pitch. The American boy, as termed by Leeds, he'll be joined by Tyler Adams and Yunus Musa. Adams being one of the guys there. Another guy making a change, probably with Serginho Dest kind of getting wary, especially in the middle. Luke Shaw has been testing that right hand side for the United States for a long time, almost got a big one there. Serginho Dest once again will head out, and Shaq Moore will now head in. Of course, a lot of fullbacks on the bench. DeAndre Yedlin got the chance on Monday. Of course, a lot of people were calling for Joe Scally to check in, although Scally, young guy. Scally, if you think about it, he's a pretty young guy, only 19 years old, much like Musa, but only 3 caps under his belt. Another change coming for England. Their third of the day. Bukayo Saka will head off. Marcus Rashford, another Manchester United guy, will head on. So now we have 3 Manchester United players on the pitch, and Rashford, Maguire, and Shaw. So a lot of big power Premier League teams being in the picture. And of course, Kieran Trippier and Declan Rice with West Ham, who's been in Europa League talks for a while, and Newcastle, which is currently third in the Premier League. Nonetheless, Turner boots us forward as we start off the 79th minute here at Al Bayt Stadium. Headed down by Zimmerman, right to Robinson. Robinson, clip forward for Pulisic. Could we see a chance here? Pulisic cuts back, able to break the change for now as Adams takes it from Musa's hands. As once again goes to Pulisic, too far out, trying to play through for right. He knows it too. He should have laid the ball off a little bit softer. Once again, Haji Wright with a few chances, had a header in the first half that was wide, but overall, not too many chances. But either way, United States and England kind of tied up in the shots category, and actually, United States might have more shots on goal potentially, or that's tied as well. Either way, so far, so good for the United States. 11 minutes left to go plus stoppage time. This so far would be a decent result for the United States, as they would control their own destiny. They would not have to rely on Wales if they are to do something. And that's actually not a bad idea by Berhalter, in the sense that with that, England still has to play a full game against Wales. And I think to kind of give some protection as well, the United States just needs a win against Iran. They don't really care what happens in England versus Wales in terms of advancing to the knockouts. So overall, not bad for the United States. You think about it, on the contrary, if England was to pull this one out, they would go to 6 points, meaning they could start kind of their backups, especially knowing how that game against, or especially Group A, could go if Ecuador or Senegal was to win. Nonetheless, here we see the U.S. on the attack. Pulisic playing through out to Weah on the left, cut away there by Maguire. Crunching tackle by him, sliding through, and it will be another throw in as Maguire holds on to his hip. Hope he's okay. 10 minutes. Just counting down the clock here. I mean, it's almost like we're getting closer and closer and closer, either to something incredible or, you know what, overall, at least a formidable result. Nonetheless, Shaq Moore down the right-hand side. Now to Weah. Weah plays this back as it goes towards Zimmerman, about 40 yards out. Musa, now to Ream. Kane, once again, he's got some time in the tank. Harry Kane making a lot of dashing runs forward. And with that, U.S. gives up the ball. Grealish going forward. Ream, good cutaway there. Kind of been a game of boom ball there in the middle, as some of these teams have kind of been playing some boom ball, but nonetheless, it's been able to at the very least, slow England down. Here's Mount once again on the attack. Mason Mount in space, cuts it across now. Here's Kane. Kane, now to Trippier. Trippier, now to Henderson. Henderson sends this one in. Turner catches it like a wide receiver in the end zone. No questions asked as the Arsenal man does his work again. So Robinson now again, if you're just tuning in, a couple changes for the United States, in which Brendan Aronson and Shaq Moore are now on that right-hand side instead of Weston McKennie and Serginho Dest. And for England, they have replaced their wings, as it's now Jack Grealish and Marcus Rashford. Also in the game is their new 8, Jordan Henderson. Meanwhile, here's the United States. Shaq Moore on the ball. Doesn't cross it in, gives it off to Weah. Weah, back to Moore. Now to Aronson. Those two playing some good combo. Moore tries cutting inside. goes down, and to add insult to injury, it's going to be a free kick for England rather than the United States. Still a lot of moments left as it looks like Tim Weah will be headed off. His dad watching from the stands. Of course, his dad, former soccer player himself, now current president of Liberia. He will head off. So will Haji Wright. So a big change in the middle, and it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Gio Reyna making his World Cup debut. Had his birthday a few days ago. Now 20 years old. Gets his first start. First appearance at the World Spectacle for the U.S. And his dad, Claudio, watching from the stands. Of course, Claudio playing in a bunch of World Cups himself, including 1994, in which the U.S. hosted. And up top, we're going to see Josh Sargent. So the opposite of what we saw on Monday, in which Sargent started and then Haji Wright came in later. It's going to be a change. Gio Reyna and Brendan Aronson, they've got 7 minutes plus stoppage time. It's going to be interesting how that right-hand side will be tested. As Kane plays this through to nobody, Shaq Moore will see this one well out and will recollect by giving it right back to Turner. Turner back out to Ream. Now to Robinson. Robinson, now to Pulisic, back to Robinson. Aronson's calling for it in the middle. Nonetheless, it goes out to Moore on the right. Shaq Moore intercepted there by Shaw. Boy, has he been on the case for a lot of challenges. Grealish goes down, free kick, England. This one could be dangerous, about 35 yards out, could be swung in with the right. We know England has a lot of weapons in that area. So, U.S. with 4 changes, England with 3 so far. 6 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. United States, this is not necessarily a must win, but if they do win, it gives them a major, major chance of going to the knockouts, especially knowing they will face an Iran team that England beat 6-2, although Iran ended up winning 2-0 against Wales. Once Wales was down a man, Wayne Hennessy, their goalkeeper, was sent off in the 88th minute. Back at all core, Luke Shaw with the outswinger into the box, cleared away there by Ream. Now to Pulisic. Pulisic just has to send this high up, and he will earn a free kick in that regards. Still a lot of moments left in this one. Boy, oh boy. We didn't see any late moment magic against Wales, and England didn't really need any late moment magic being up the way they were against Iran. So this is what the World Cup's all about. Late moment times, late moment goals. We saw it earlier today with Wales, Iran. Some interesting results earlier today. Senegal beating Qatar 2-0. They're the first home team, that is Qatar, to be out of the World Cup after 2 games. At least that is eliminated. So they will have their garbage time game against Netherlands. And then you also had an interesting battle between Ecuador and Netherlands. That ended out in a draw earlier today. So Ecuador with a chance to potentially win Group A against the Orange. Nonetheless, England is a favorite to win the group in Group B. They went in today leading the group as they were the only one to pick up a win. So the United States, with a win, would leapfrog England and be in first place going into Matchday 3. If it ends out in a draw, United States would be third overall. The question is for Greg, in sense, when you're in this position, does it really hurt to have a loss here mostly? Do you just want to kind of throw the kitchen sink at them and say, you know what, if we get that win, holy smokes, we get that win. But you know what, if we lose, it's not that bad. You think about it, as we see the shots here, 5 shots for England, 10 for the United States. That's insane to think about. That one chopped away, still in play. It's played out. Here's Kane. Now in the middle, plays through for Saka. Was onside. Ream able to get back as he's tracked here by the Americans. Saka still on the ball. Now it's out to Grealish. Grealish now cuts inside, looks for his options. Once again, back out to Rashford. His shot is caught by Turner. United States playing off the ball there, but Marcus Rashford unable to convert the opportunity. So it's back to Tim Ream and the United States. In sense, a draw does not help out that much compared to a loss. So, in sense, a win would be impeccable. It's still a 0-0 game here between England and the US. US unbeaten against the Three Lions at the World Spectacle. Aronson now on the right. Reyna. How about that? That's an interesting combo. Gio Reyna playing the right mid, Brendan Aronson playing right wing. Now they'll go back to how they were to play. Aronson now cutting in the middle, trying to use his energy, still going with the ball, as it's now with Musa. Still a little ways out from goal. Now to Adams, as it once again goes back towards midfield. Moore, now to Reyna again. Moore providing some overlap. Nonetheless, Reyna cuts inside. Can't find Pulisic there, or pardon me, not Pulisic, Sargent on the chase. Nonetheless, ball played through, trying to find Harry Kane. Zimmerman tracks back, and he will give this right back to Turner, who will boot this. It still stays on the right. That's where the U.S. will be playing this game, I presume, for the next 2 minutes plus stoppage time. Turner still holding the ball. Turner going forward, and he just gives it out to Robinson. Nervy moments for the United States as he had two Englishmen there. Musa now to Pulisic on the left. Pulisic cutting inside. Now here's Pulisic on the ball. It was Sargent taking this up. As now to Reyna. Reyna out to Shaq Moore. Moore clips this one in, cut away. He went low, and it was given right back to the English. When will the United States start to go through the air? That's what they were doing so well in the first half, and we haven't seen it much in the second. Once again, Americans with possession, about a minute plus stoppage time left. I'm still counting down the clock here. We only had 1 minute of stoppage time, and we did not have that much stoppage in play at all. Not too many injuries, not too many substitutions. So I presume stoppage time could be pretty short compared to what we have seen in this World Cup, where at times we've seen, take for England or Iran example, where we had 14 minutes of stoppage time. Here's Zimmerman. Ream back to Zimmerman. Kane and the English continue to give pressure. Turner, boy, oh boy, has he come under pressure. Ream just has to let that one go as it's Pulisic. Everybody kind of just nervous on the ball. They are playing lucky there with their cards. Henderson goes down, free kick for England. I didn't see much contact there. He kind of just went down willfully. That was a rough call. I don't agree with that. Oh, actually, no. Pulisic kind of swept him from behind a little bit. 90 minutes left to go. Trippier sends this one in, headed away by Moore. An England corner kick. 4 minutes of stoppage time here from Albion Stadium. The United States trying to pull off a surprise point against England. Slowly walking over, it's Kieran Trippier to take the corner kick. 30 seconds into stoppage time. What can the English do as Trippier makes sure the ball is right in his corner? Once again, walks back. You got Mount at the top of the box and unmarked. Let's see if England uses him. Nonetheless, Trippier sends this one into the box, headed down, still in the area, and caught by Turner with Kane right in front of him. And with that, we now have about 3 minutes left to go. Once again, Turner with not too many deep balls, as we see here once again. Just a roll out there to Tim Ream. We're seeing Berhalter there, kind of contempt on playing the ball. Did get the big players in. What can they do late? Speaking of which, Brendan Aronson is now on the ball. Gives it right back to Zimmerman. Boy, the United States playing very conservative here. I don't know if I like this. I would probably try to push it up a little bit. Here's Reyna. Now to Zimmerman. Zimmerman cut there by Grealish, and here we see the English again. 3-on-3 as Adams tracks back there against Grealish. Grealish pushed down, and it's a free kick for England. A rash call there and a rash decision by the United States as Grealish slowly gets up. Free kick in a dangerous position about 25, 30 yards out. Could be indirect as Luke Shaw will have the ball at his feet. It'll be right there. The ref makes sure it doesn't go further. 2 minutes through in the stoppage time, about a couple minutes left. Another chance here. I think the whistle has blown, apparently. Either way, Shaw starting to get it up. We'll need some help from Trippier. Luke Shaw stands over the ball. Another whistle blows. This time, the ref's now in the box to make sure there's no discrepancy and especially no differences there. It's Maguire going up against Sargent there on the back. That's an interesting decision with Harry Maguire lurking back post. Shaw, in-swinger into the box. Header just wide. It was another chance, and Harry Kane, the captain, can't give England the go-ahead. 1 minute left. Let's take a look at this. This was swung in well, and Kane decides to direct it. He was looking for the corner, a little too far in the corner as it skips well wide. So the United States maybe has one last opportunity if they want to make the most of it. Either way, crucial point overall. Turner sends us up the pitch. Still got options going. That's one headed away. As here's Ream. Just decides to pip that one up in the middle. Once again, Ream goes back, and he will give this back to Matt Turner. Turner, this time, he will boot it up the field. That one headed down by Maguire. Free kick, U.S. Could this be the moment? We approach 4 minutes of stoppage time. Maybe one last opportunity for the U.S. if they are to do something here. England bringing their men back. United States bringing their men forward. Knowing that a win would be everything for the squad, could we see something? Berhalter's actually telling them to wait. I don't know what is wrong with this man, but something's got to give. I don't think the Tiffany bracelets are going to help, especially right now. Pulisic and Adams over the ball. We are past 4 minutes of stoppage time. This could be the final play of the game. Pulisic decides to play out to Reyna in the corner. Reyna gets it off of Grealish, a throw-in for the U.S. Will that be granted? Let's see. No, it won't. And in the end, the United States picks up a point against England after suffering a 1-1 draw against Wales, which they led for so long. The United States played a stingy game and brought it to an English side that ended up winning 6-2 over Iran. So that means the United States does control their destiny going into the final match day. At the top of the table, we have England with 4 points, still with that +4 goal differential from the 4-goal win. In second, you're going to have Iran fresh off their win. They're at a +2 goal differential. United States is now going to be third with 2 points. That being said, they would need that win against Iran to get in. But overall, from what I've seen, not a bad result. I mean, the boys truly did not play down their level. They played high and they played energetic. Overall, it's a good result. I wouldn't say it's as much as a win, but overall, pretty good result for the side. And they could have done better, but nonetheless, on paper, not bad. And then last but certain and least, actually, in that regards, is Wales. 1 point. With that loss, they're now at a -2 goal differential. So we got some big games on Tuesday. We've got England against Wales, as England will look to try to get potentially at least a point to qualify for the knockouts. This is how England would qualify. They would qualify basically with a point. Simple as that. They would qualify with a point, or they would qualify with either whether they lost to Wales, and then in a sense Iran and the US drew, then they would qualify. They would still be the #1 seed. Iran would be second. United States would be third. Actually, in that case, then Wales would, yeah. So if Iran and the United States were to draw in that case, then England, even if they lose, even if it's by a goal, they would still be at the helm. Wales, in a sense, would still be in the mix. And then it's between England, Iran, and Wales to decide who gets the 2 spots. If you look at Iran on the other side, it's probably as simple as the United States. Win, and well, you're in. Even if England does, England takes the top, you take second. For the United States, as I said earlier, it's the same ideal. You don't have to worry about England Wales. It's simple as this: win and you're in. Depending on how the England Wales game goes, it could decide who gets that first seed spot. If England was to botch it up and lose that in the United States was to win, then the US would be the number one seed. If not, they would be number two. And then Wales, simple as this: they got to beat England and then pray that it's enough goal differential that Iran and US end out in a draw. So that wraps up match day 2 today for both Group A and Group B. I will be back here on the Reacts tomorrow for Group C, what should be a great matchup. Argentina against Mexico. If Argentina does not grab full points, they are eliminated. And Lionel Messi's time of the World Cup will be done. And then Sunday, big game, Spain against Germany, another qualification elimination game. Spain wins and they're on. Germany loses and they're out. Same ideals. It's what we love about the World Cup. So once again, thanks for tuning into this broadcast of my reacts for the World Cup right here on YouTube. So long, good night, and stay safe. And hey, enjoy your Black Friday. And I'd say for this too, you think about it. Sure, it's a point, but I'd say, in my opinion, it's still called soccer. See you guys.